All right, so we're here at the 800-gallon tank. We're getting ready to feed, and we're gonna see how he actually feeds his 800-gallon aquarium. Not like, what would we say, like an everyday feeding?
Yeah, this is like, it's the whole variety. Instead of like, here's 1 pound of this, it's 1 pound of food, but it's several different types of food.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so I can't start with any of the frozen food. If I put like this 4 ounces of bloodworms in there, all the tiger barbs are gonna get it. Plus, things like the archers want to feed off the top. So a lot of times I'll start with either a decent koi food, a floating food basically. So I start with a floating food, and it's like a full-on handful. You know, so a full-on handful goes in, and everything starts going nuts for that. So that's like the first, all right, everyone get your taste. And then like the giraffe cats and all that stuff, everyone's going, hey, I hear feeding happening. That means food's coming. So then I'll typically follow it up with some sinking, like this, some cichlid pellets here, because now the giraffe cats they know what's going on. So I'll follow with some of that. And then after that, I'm going to follow up with the sinking excel, so they can get some veggie matter, because not everything, you know, wants just meat all the time. So I follow some of that. And you can kind of hear in the background the auto water changes happen to be going on right now anyway. And that happens 4 times a day. So
how much does it change?
I actually haven't done it in a long time, but all 4 is about 25% a day currently. So then I start putting in the worms. Let's break that up. And then after that, I'll put in a few pieces of cocktail shrimp again. And like it's different when I walk away and they're feeding as opposed to me doing all this and the camera being there. But once you start just watching them do their natural thing, you know, you can watch the giraffe cats. They're just gonna keep sucking that food in. And
these guys do not look this big. I mean, they look big on camera, but when you see them in real life,
yeah, and they're gonna get like 3 feet, so they're gonna be beefy. And then you've got the flagtail Prochulotus right behind that. Everyone asks what that fish is, and that's kind of wants to eat algae and that kind of stuff. And you've got the tiger barbs mowing down the worms right now. Like they're going nuts. The clown loaches, they'll eat the worms, but they also really like the cocktail shrimp.
Now,
you've got the dojo loach surfing up top grabbing food.
I did see the hillstream loach hiding back here.
Yeah, so there's hillstream loaches in there. We've had them breed in here before. And yeah, so the big loaches, being wild caught, they're still super skittish, so they kind of wait for stuff to like roll up under that log, and then they'll eat it. And then you've got the Goldie Pleco. He loves to get on a big piece of shrimp or something like that. That's his preferred. Something he can rasp on. Again, we talked about that in the fish room tour. And but yeah, because they can eat worms and that kind of stuff, but they really want to rasp on something. In the wild, they would love to find a dead body and just kind of be taking chunks of meat off that.
I just got one of these yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I can't wait till they get big.
How many do you have?
I just have the one in here, and there's a royal pleco. There's a pinstripe pinoc right on that fake piece of wood right there.
Do you think he's trying to? Oh wait, that's yeah, it's a wood eater, right?
Yeah.
Trying to eat your fake wood.
Yep, and there is real wood in there, and you know, there's a bunch of cool stuff, but it'll hide underneath these logs, and that's kind of why we propped him up. And otherwise, you'd never see half these fish. And but yeah, it looks like there's a lot of food, but there's an insane amount of fish in here. They're still eating, and you'll see some of the cloud archers have a big belly, but then you'll see others that are like, oh, they haven't eaten yet.
Like how there's just like a big trail of shrimp coming out of the archer.
Yeah, exactly.
Chomping down.
And so you can see right now, you see how much debris is in the aquarium for how much food goes in, and this happens every day. And so we have a big filtration system, and the water changes going. And you can still see, like, even like that clown loach is a little bit skinny, and so it can be hard to get food to the smallest fish or the shyest fish. And so, you know, this guy he'll eat all that. That dojo loach is like the biggest one in the world. Yeah,
you only have one of them?
Yeah, I've only got the one in there. And but see, they're like, they finished cleaning up wherever they were eating, and they're gonna come back and get to just hoovering.
How big do you think this fish is?
I think it's about a foot. You know, so on the conservative side, like a foot, because if you say like, oh, it's 16 inches, they're like, no. I think that one's about a foot, and I think this one's about 6 inches. And they're just, you know, they're fun little pets, and I want to change it up. I want to take out the tiger barbs because they dominate the food so hard. I could feed a lot less and really get the food to the bottom dwellers like I want. and I want to put in like a bunch of rainbow fish, and I just really want to make it just a giant community tank. That's what I want to do now. I just want to keep adding fish.
So will you keep the clown loaches in there?
Oh, for sure. Like that, this tank was built for clown loaches, so they're never gonna go. People go, what are you gonna do when they all grow up? I will buy a bigger aquarium. You know, like I have the means to get that. Like it'll be a huge expense and it'll be a lot of work, and I might have to take out part of the wall. But in, let's say, 8 years, when all these things have grown up pretty big, I should have the means to make that happen. So.
Be like a zoo quality.
Yeah,
massive.
Like the tank itself, I'm not even that worried about. It's filtration. Like this filtration is so brutal when you're feeding this many stuff that if you want it to look good on camera, I don't even know what filtration I'm going to use. Because when you go to a public aquarium, usually there's a lot of stuff in their water, you know, because it's not really meant to be on camera. But my stuff's usually meant to be on camera. It's a backdrop, that type of thing. So, you know, it's. But this is a typical. You know, we'll feed, and you know, if I wasn't standing here, if we weren't standing here, the big loaches would have cleaned a lot of this up. You know, like they're trying to get every morsel that comes by them. They're sorting through the gravel and everything, but they haven't really livened up. Like they're, you know, if I start walking, he's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, so. You know, it always looks bad on camera, like, you're way overfeeding. It's like, yes, but if I had sat down at my computer like normal, they would just devour, they'd be gone already. Like, it just would go.
Yeah, I don't think it comes across well on camera, because in person, it doesn't look like you're feeding a lot at all. When you actually see everything eating.
Yeah, and there's so many things that, if you don't want your plecos to starve out, and the reticulated hillstream loaches, and the other things that are more timid eaters, you have to put enough that they can come out and compete with giant clown loaches. Like, I point at the guy and he runs away, but... that's just the way it is. So unless I'm gonna rehome, you know, and move a bunch of stuff. There's a super red right there at the end of the log. Super red bristle nose. But yeah, let's see if we can see anything else in here. But yeah, there's even more fish that, like, so you can see how many fish are out, but there's still a ton of fish that hide all the time. So yeah, there's another reticulated hillstream loach. I saw a couple swim back over there. And yeah, but the archer fish, I've really been feeding a lot extra floating food because it's hard to get them to eat enough. They're so active, and they'll just spend all day spitting water and doing stuff that they'll lose weight if I'm not careful. Like, some of them eat really well. Some of them will be nice and fat, and you'll see some that are still pretty skinny because they're just not eating as well as some of the bigger ones.
Now, what's their max size?
They claim 5-6 inches. These are the biggest ones I've seen in person.
Yeah, I would say that one's definitely 6 inches.
Yeah,
pretty
he might
close.
be 4.5, 5. He's almost 6, yeah. So I think that's mostly the full-grown size, but a lot of these, you know, aren't that yet, and I don't know if that's a male or whatever, and, you know, they've got some different patterning going. Like, as they get bigger, the pattern kind of goes away, and some of the smaller ones, the pattern's way darker and that kind of stuff. So these guys aren't going anywhere because I still love them, and it's fun that they'll shoot water on the computers, and me and Jimmy, and like they interact with you. Like, you can't forget about them because they'll squirt you with water, and every once in a while a fly will get into the studio, and you can just watch them, and they'll track it the whole time.
You ever thought about like putting branches up there and getting like crickets or something?
Yeah, so I bought a ton of silicone vines from like Fluval or something, and we're gonna do that. Might be one of the things. Like, we'll remove the tiger barbs, drop the water level like a foot, and then build it so that they can shoot down crickets and that kind of stuff. Because I think that'll be super fun to watch. But we have to get every hole really covered up, which is a couple more we got to cover up, because those crickets will come out and they'll drive me nuts.
Oh, they're annoying for sure.
And then I can send Jimmy. I'll be like, Jimmy, go to Petco and get crickets. You know, like, it's cricket day. You know, but my goal. So we've had this tank as of like, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've had the tank for a year now, and it's basically been this setup. And the tiger barbs are super cool. I don't know if they'll do the move now that they've all eaten. Normally they'll follow you as a big horde and that kind of stuff. And that is super fun. But what I don't like about these tiger barbs is every once in a while they'll get in like a frenzy and go and nip on the big clown loaches. So that's one of the reasons I think they don't like to be out as much. And then for sure the dojo loach. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, if I've made the tank for the clown loaches and they don't want to come out because they're getting nipped by a billion tiger barbs, time for the tiger barbs to come out. So they don't do it to the small ones. Like, the small ones are fine. Like, they all go around to the big ones that they don't really retaliate, and they just like go in like, okay, I'll just hide more. So
Awesome. All right, there you go, checking out the feeding on the 800 gallon, how he actually feeds it. I want to thank Corey for letting me come down and film. I definitely love looking at this tank, and we'll have all links to his channel. I'm sure you guys already know, but they'll all be down below popping up. Yep, go there, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. Check out the website, lots of cool stuff, and I'll see everyone next time.
Bye-bye!
Change zoom.
What if I'm right behind you and I just like come to the side and you start talking?
Power of 3.
Okay, right behind you.
Okay.